This video is for Ceramics 1 students. We're working on the animal sculpture, and I wanted to talk about something that you're probably getting ready for, which is making a cradle for your animal. So let's say you're making a dolphin. So you have your dolphin's body, and you can see the dolphin's body is nice and round. And the problem is every time you set it down on your table, it starts to get flat, and we want to keep that nice curved shape. So sometimes the body of the animal is also curved like this. For a dolphin, it looks more lifelike, but every time you set it down, it just flattens that out. So what do you do to help you with that? And the answer is you make a cradle. So a cradle is just very simple. It's a couple pieces of extra clay that you can set your animal on top of, and it just holds the animal and it keeps it from, so now there's space underneath here, and it's going to keep that from flattening out on the table. It's real simple. You do usually just take a couple pieces of scrap clay. I have a bucket in the front of the room near my screen that just says cradle clay in it. It's the same clay that we use to practice our texture, so it's a little bit firm and just kind of leftover pieces. You don't need anything fancy. And a good way to make a cradle is just to grab a piece of clay out of that bin, the bucket rather, and all I'm going to do is just take my knife and slice this in half, and then I can just kind of form it. Even if it's a little hard, you can still kind of mush it around and make into a couple little cradles. It also helps if you're building an animal that has legs that are going to stick down, and you don't want to set it on those legs because they're not strong enough. So you can set it on the belly of the animal on this cradle, and that will take the pressure off if this had legs on it, like if it was a different kind of animal with legs. So you can lift it up off the table so that there's no weight pressing down on those legs, which is going to make those probably compress and just get ruined. So if you need to make one. So another thing you want to do is try to carve the top of these cradles to match the curvature of your animal's body. So I just create a little curve here, and then my animal will sit nicely on top of that cradle. So I'll do another one of those. Just kind of create a little curve. So now I've got my two cradles here, and then I can set my dolphin on top of those. The other thing that's nice about the cradles is when you go to wrap this up at the end of the period, it's a little safer to put on your shelf. It's not going to roll around or move or anything. The other thing you might need, you've got a board right now, and if your animal will fit on the board like that, then just use the board and then just wrap that carefully in the bag. But if you find that you need a little bit longer space, you could trade your square board for a circular board. These are located under table 5. So if you feel like for your animal you just need a little more space to kind of spread out there, you could get one of these round boards. And then just make sure it cradles. It kind of sits down into these little holders, and that's going to be easy for you to like work on details and stuff and not deform what you've already made. So it just kind of helps hold the shape of your animal and take the pressure, like especially if you have legs and things underneath, it just helps hold that so it's a little more secure. And then when you get ready to put it away for the weekend or the night, you just make sure you cover this whole board and your cradled animal there in the bag, and that should take care of it. So hopefully that helps you if you've been struggling with that. And the other thing, just while you're starting this sculpture, stay focused on the proportions. Check the width of your animal's body. So how many of those is it long? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so kind of compare the thickness of your body to the length of your body. Make sure that it matches the pictures that you found online, and that will help you get good accuracy with your animal. So happy sculpting, and we'll continue with this project.